This is Lutin, and hi guys, I'm here today with my thoughts and review about Black Ops 2. Now, people have been waiting for this for ages. I even had people messaging me saying, why have you not posted this yet? And the main reason was that I needed to give it enough time to try and see whether I felt like anything was really going to be done or moved in the right direction. I wanted to play it enough to really get a feel for how the game played out. Now, before we actually get into anything, the first thing I want to say is that this is much more kind of an opinion-based review than a technical review, and there's a good reason for that. The other thing is that unlike my other one, this is unscripted, and it's unscripted because I don't really need to script this video compared to the other one because I'm not going into all the technical details like I did with the Battlefield one. So the main key thing for me is that I have played COD a lot. Okay, I'm a Battlefield player right now, but I played COD loads in the past, played 4 or 5 different versions of the game. I've played it a lot. I've had a lot of experience. It was the first, when I exited World of Warcraft, I joined a clan to play Call of Duty. I played through then again several Call of Duty series and enjoyed it hugely. Really excellent, fantastic game. Recently though, with some of the changes to the connectivity and so on, it's just kind of lost its way. And it all sort of started for me, as I explained almost in my my preview when I was talking about getting back into the Black Ops, and I kind of mentioned it a little bit. When Black Ops came along, the Black Ops 1 this is, I actually really enjoyed the game, like a huge amount. I really enjoyed the game. I loved the way it played out, I loved the dynamic of it, I loved the weapons, I loved everything they'd thought about in that game. But what destroyed it for me was the fact that there was a huge issue on PS3, and as I say, I don't know about other formats, but for PS3 there was a huge issue where you could not join with your squad mates, you could not get into a game, and then there was other issues like you were getting kicked out of games, rounds would end, you couldn't migrate hosts. It basically meant that the game at the stage when it was released within the first month, it became almost unplayable. Now, if there's something that really annoys me, it's when you have such a major issue like that, and yet developers and people that are related to the developer themselves make no comment whatsoever about such a major issue. And they basically didn't. They gave no time scale of having a look at fixing this. They weren't sort of saying like, yeah, we're aware of the problem, blah, 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 we admit there's an issue. No, they made no comment whatsoever, Treyarch, with this back in Black Ops. Anyway, this kind of disillusioned me hugely from the game. I got really annoyed and I was just like, screw this, because I was like, Battlefield runs so well, why the hell am I going to waste my time when the developer themselves won't even come out and admit there's such a clearly obvious flaw? And I thought, screw it, I'd had enough at that point. So I didn't get Modern Warfare 3 and I didn't continue much with Black Ops. And the sad thing is that up until that point, I'd never really prestiged, but with Black Ops, I enjoyed the game so much, I actually went up and through into like 3rd or 4th prestige. I think it was 3rd prestige. Anyway, it's not high up or anything, but it was just, for me, it was significant because previously I had not even bothered to do that because I never saw the point. But this time around, it wasn't because I wanted to get unlocked slots or anything like that. It was more the fact that I just literally wanted to play the hell out of the game and I loved it. Anyway, so I didn't get Modern Warfare 3. And then with Black Ops 2, as you know, I really liked the look of what they'd done with the game. I liked the look of how they changed it. I really felt like they were going forward with it. And also, I felt like, hey, okay, this is 2012, There must be some positive changes that they've made to the connection system. And also, my connection runs very, very well here. I actually had some huge issues with my internet recently, but it seems to be getting a little bit fixed. And I'm sort of back up to my 40 meg download, 50 meg download speed, which is, good for what I want. So with all that in mind, I was really optimistic, and as I said, up and coming to the release, I never said this is definitely going to be a really excellent game. I never said that. What I said was I really hoped, and that looked to me like it was going to be a really good game. Much in the same way that they said Medal of Honor didn't look like it was going to be a good game. I said, from the past experience and from what I've seen and from what I've heard, it doesn't sound like it's going to be a good thing, and I wouldn't bet any money on it being a good game. Turned out I was 100% accurate. With Black Ops, I said that I felt like it was going to be a really good game. I said there was lots of changes they've made to the game. I think they've made a lot of moves in the right direction, and I felt that they had a genuinely good chance of really making something good and constructive. Now, it turns out that in some ways I was correct, and in some ways I was absolutely wrong. I was perhaps a little bit too over-optimistic that there was anything positive actually going to happen. So the most frustrating thing of all really was that I actually really enjoyed Black Ops 2. Again, I really enjoyed the gameplay, I really enjoyed the weapons, I enjoyed the dynamics, I liked the thought that gone into it, I loved the concept and the way that Pick-10 played out, I loved the map design, I thought they'd done the map design really well, and I even thought the graphics were pretty good, considering the fact that the engine they're running on and, you know, the age and so on of things now. I really thought they got a hell of a lot out of it. So where does it all go wrong, and where do we end up with this week me taking the game back to the store and trading it in for Far Cry 3? Well, really it comes down to the very simple thing of servers and connectivity. And it's like I said in one of my videos the other day, until that basic foundation of a game is solidly in place, all of the other things, the graphics, map design, layouts, flows, game modes, Pick-10, whatever you like, all of that stuff, the guns, how it handles, damage ratios, balancing, all of that other stuff is absolutely irrelevant. It really, there's no point even talking about it. Because if you don't have a game which has a solid server system, good connectivity, and a balanced sort of, you know, a balanced connectivity for its player base as well, we're talking lag compensation here. If you don't have that, there isn't even any point considering the other stuff, because it doesn't matter. Because if you're having such bad connections in game, just because of the way they have their stuff set up, all of this other stuff doesn't matter. It really doesn't. And I found regularly, I mean, you saw I posted a video where I was going like 40 and 4, whatever. I had some other rounds which I was running and getting, you know, a lot of kills and stuff like this. I played with my teammates, we had some dominating rounds and stuff. Then I would play another round with the same team, the same people, and I'd go like 320 or 430 or something like this. It's such a massive turnaround in score. You can't sort of associate that. You can't sort of, you know, everybody has bad rounds, but it's unusual for a player to have such a catastrophically bad round in comparison to the round that they had previously. And also I'd often find that it would be like everyone was having this issue. Okay, so it's not like I just had a few bad rounds and I was like, oh, this is stupid. No, I have talked to a lot of the guys that I play with. I've talked to a lot of people online. And again, the main thing that I've found is that it seems to be a concurrent problem. And this is really what it comes down to. Now, it got me onto thinking about this whole issue. Now, the lag compensation, like I say, is one issue. The other problem is the server connectivity, and I still found that we're getting constantly kicked out of so many games. I think the only other thing I would say is that this is my own experience on PS3, and I don't know if I can talk for Xbox or PC, but I've heard kind of 50-50 things. I mean, I always thought that Xbox was like the primary platform for COD, and therefore that, you know, the stability and everything should be loads better. And there's always people you see saying this is the case. But I talked to plenty of people that play with Xbox, producers and so on, who said that it was just, you know, equally as bad, like 50-50. I really don't think it's satisfactory. This is my main issue. And this really comes down to the crux of my whole issue, is that a game like Call of Duty, campaign and zombies aside, the multiplayer aspect is a massive component of the game. So for them to not have bothered to invest anything in the stability and the way that the peer-to-peer, the kind of players, the players' connectivity against one another is stable, seems a huge flaw. And it's laughable to me that you have games like, for example, Killzone 2, which came out years ago, and they had much better stability than this, you know, modern Black Ops game in 2012. It's mad. It's mad that such a, you know, arguably smaller title. I mean, Killzone, it's a PS3 exclusive, so it's a much smaller franchise than Call of Duty, which is across multi-platform. And for a game which seems much smaller, to have clearly invested in its servers. Now, this leads me on to my next point. I am no expert on servers and all these kind of things, okay? I don't know enough about it. I'm not a very technical person in terms of those sort of things. So I don't want to be making these grand sweeping judgments. based on not all the facts. So I have been working to try and find someone in the industry, and I'm still working to try and find this. Okay, I'm trying to find someone who I can talk to who knows in depth about servers and setting these things up, what the kind of possibilities and ramifications are. I'm going to possibly try and speak to someone at EA or DICE or whatever. I also know some other people, so I might be able to find someone who's independent or something like this. So I want to try and get some other viewpoints on this, because I personally as well want to know a little bit more about it. So take that with a pinch of salt when I talk about this. Regardless of it, it seems lunacy to me that such a massive core brand game cannot invest the money, and still over the last years cannot invest the money to set up dedicated servers. It's something people have been begging and screaming for years, and for me it's like the final nail in the coffin. I think from now on, until they say, yes, now we have fully stable, no peer-to-peer, dedicated servers like most other online multiplayer games, then I just will not get another title. Because, as I say, until they have stable servers and they have all this sort of stuff, there is literally, all the other things do not even matter. You could be running around throwing cabbages at each other in game, and it doesn't matter, because unless you have if someone comes around and cabbages you from behind, gets a big cabbage and smashes you in the back, you don't have any opportunity to sort of turn around because you've lagged out, or you come around the corner and you've got cabbages coming left, right and centre. Oh, I've got cauliflower in my ear, and you get taken down. It's not going to happen. This was the kind of thing that would be happening. I think everybody has experienced this, the lag compensation. You come around the corner and there's a guy, that you got the trigger on him first. You empty the clip, not gone down. All of a sudden, bang, you're dead in one hit. Happened so many millions of times, so many other people complaining about it. And I'll tell you something else, is that I always used to, I'm a real proponent. I dislike it when people go, I lagged, that's why I failed. I know when I used to play World of Warcraft, and I get it also in Battlefield, when you're fighting against another person and they lose or whatever, and they go, I had some lag, you go, yeah, whatever, rubbish, you're lying, because you just think they're making up excuses. But as someone who likes to consider themselves an honest gamer, I can tell you, seriously, I know when I'm lagging. I know in Battlefield when I'm lagging, and let me tell you, the week when I was playing Black Ops, my connection was running perfect. I was running speed test checks all day long, and I've spoken to other people like Drifter who are big into COD and know about these issues, so I felt like I had some fairly good sort of information about how it goes down, and I really feel that still it's something that is just so unworkable. It distorts the gameplay so ridiculously. It's not like a small amount which is bearable, it's so distorted, it's so exaggerated that it ruins the game completely. Now, interestingly, Drifter actually came up with a sort of solution that he felt to the lag compensation, but to do this you basically had to connect a modem directly to your game system, like bypass the router, just connect the modem, and this theoretically would improve the lag compensation issue. But what a nonsense, what a ridiculous workaround that in 2012 you're having to do this, just for this one game as well. I mean, and a lot of people wouldn't even have the ability to be able to do this because their system may not be in a place where they can connect it up in order to do this. It's ridiculous. And why is it that so many other games, I mean, for Christ's sake, there's so many other games which manage perfectly well without this kind of setup in this system. And the thing is, even if they run this system of lag compensation and, peer-to-peer servers and all this sort of stuff, if it worked, then great. But it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And it so obviously doesn't work. It's not like you get a bit of lag here and there and go, oh, well, the game's generally really good, so it doesn't matter. It's not like, it's appalling. It's so bad. It's unbelievably bad. And that's before we even get onto the topic of all the other little issues and things, So before you even get to anything else, you've got this giant catastrophic issue which will not go away. And the main other problem that I have as well, and this isn't so much, this is a kind of it's a set problem. It's kind of a consistent issue. It's something that I kind of had forgotten about from a year and a half away from Call of Duty. That is lobbies. My God. Lobbies. Dear me. So much time wasted in lobbies. So much time. It makes me want to die. Oh dear God. Sitting in the lobby, waiting for players to join, waiting for players, and then 2 guys join and the round is about to start, and you're like, oh great, the game's going to start. Oh, 1 guy leaves, and then it's trying to balance the teams, then it waits so long that another 3 people leave, another 3 people, and then 2 people more join. You get the idea. And it goes on like this, and on and on and on and on and on. I think multiple times throughout the week I waited like easily 20 minutes between games, and then you'd back out, join another lobby, same deal, you're waiting. Oh my God, so much time wasted. And I actually had like little flashbacks. I remember back into Black Ops, so it's like literally driving me berserk. I remember sort of being sat in lobbies, just sitting there and going, I've been here for half an hour and I haven't even played it. I could have played like 2-3 rounds of Battlefield in the time I've been just sitting in a lobby doing nothing, just sitting here staring at a screen, watching people like talk crap. Oh God. And I brought this up to the guys that I play with that play Call of Duty, and they were like, oh, shut up, Luton, that's just how Call of Duty is. And I was kind of like, yeah, you know, maybe it is, but I don't have to like it for that reason. And so those are the 3 main core reasons why, after much soul searching this week, I just thought, you know, no, I've had enough. I'm going to draw the line and say I have had enough now. This is stupid. You know, we've been through 3 Battlefield games recently. Okay, Bad Company 2. We've even had, I don't know, Vietnam doesn't count as its own game because it's a little add-on, but that was awesome. And then we're into Battlefield 3, all of which have not even had anything like the catastrophic problems that have happened with this game at release. Now, some people are going to come and say on here, well, I've never had any of these issues. Crap, I don't believe you. I don't believe you at all. I don't believe that anybody could not have had any of these issues. And also, when you have major other YouTubers who even advocate COD as their main sort of game that they play, they have come and said that there's been all these problems as well. So anybody else, I just do not believe. But yes, basically, and then Aftermath, that wasn't the nail in the coffin, that was putting the coffin in the ground. Aftermath, seriously. Aftermath is so good that I just thought, yeah, I'm going to be playing this until, you know, the next 3-4 months, no problem at all. That combined with the fact that the whole game overall feels very kind of rounded, balanced and finished and all this kind of stuff. And there's other awesome games coming out that I want to play right now. Why would I waste time on a game which I spend, you know, as much time sitting around waiting for the game to start, and then you spend like 1/10 of that time actually, you know, the round's over in 5 minutes. You've just spent like 20 minutes waiting for the game to start. Mental. Absolutely crazy. So my only kind of things I can say here at the end was that the Pick 10 system worked excellently, as I thought it would, you know, as a lot of people thought that it would. It gave a lot of customization, a lot of ability. The maps I thought were excellently designed for Call of Duty maps. They weren't too bottlenecks, they weren't too one-sided. I also like the fact that, as I said, that the teams would switch sides, so each team would get a chance to play, much in the same way that you do attack and defend for Battlefield and Rush games and things like that. It's good because it gives teams... I like the fact as well that the score worked over 2 sides, so that was really good. I like some of the game modes, I like some of the weapons, I like the fact that they've gone over to score streaks, all these things. But as I say, unfortunately, I'm not really going to spend a huge amount of time talking about these things because I personally consider them irrelevant. Because until these other things get fixed, there is literally no point, you know, playing the game even. And I hope that you would not consider this to just be a sort of rantish video. This is not. This is my actual serious opinion about the game. I'm not just having a whine. This is someone who has played Call of Duty for multiple years. I've seen it all. Okay, I've been through a lot of the different things. I've been through all the different sort of ways of playing the game, playing with teams, playing solo, all this kind of stuff, and all of the issues that have been therein, and the patches and the updates and all this kind of stuff, the stupid hacking that we've had before, the corruption of people's game files and all this kind of stuff. I mean, that's another reason in itself why it's such a bad system, the fact that you can actually hack. And my friend Trazka, who I played Call of Duty with for ages, and of course he had a high account, someone he was in a lobby with, and bam, he's just back to zero. The fact that the system allows that kind of exploitation is ridiculous. I know that's not Black Ops 2, this is previous CODs, but the fact still that the kind of mechanics of that are still in place, it's just lunacy. So I hate taking games back as well. This is a big thing. I never do it. If anybody watched my video about my game collection, you'll see my game collection is large. It's because for the most part I consider, I love game culture, so therefore even if I don't particularly enjoy a title, I still kind of am like, I didn't enjoy it, but it had its merits, so I'm going to hold on to it. It's very rare for me to take a game back to the store. In fact, in the last 10 years I can't even remember taking a game back to the store. Seriously, really. I just don't do it. I generally pick games quite well as well. That's the other thing, is like when I buy games, I usually know what I want, and I often research quite well. I'm a fairly good judge of the quality that a game is going to be at, and it's a lot of money for a game usually, so I invest carefully in what games I want to buy. So again, for that reason, it's unusual for me to take a game back. So that also, I hope, puts a little bit of weight behind what I'm talking about today, that I'm not just having a rant. I'm trying to make a serious point that this is a big decision for me to return a big game. And also, please bear in mind that this game would have been really beneficial for me as a channel. I would have been able to do a lot of videos about weapons, tactics, map layouts, all this kind of stuff, all the things that I've done with Battlefield. I could have done it for Call of Duty, and I could have done associations and discussions with other people about this game. So for the channel itself as well, it's a big decision for me to say this. And also, I hope it will kind of give you guys a little indication of me as a person, that I make choices genuinely about things, not just what is going to be good for the YouTube channel and all this kind of stuff. I hope that gives you kind of sort of feeling of for me as a person, that I make choices based on what I feel is important to me, not just the logistics of how things will benefit me. Because like I say, I'm sure that if I'd have posted loads of Black Ops 2 stuff on my channel, it would have benefited me in views, subscribers and all this kind of stuff. But what's more important to me is the fact that I would have suffered miserably having to play this game. It would have been miserable. I already really disliked it. And also, I'll tell you, like Level and stuff have said, I found myself getting bored quite quickly. The games that I was in, I would play through and they were enjoyable, but after 3-4 rounds of playing different games, I'd be like, seriously, between that and the waiting in between and the host migration, all this kind of stuff, just get frustrated as hell and think, oh god, I'm going back on Battlefield. So that's my little overview of this. I hope you have enjoyed. I'm looking forward to comments and feedback about this and your own experiences as well. And as I say, I will be looking to try and do some kind of video discussion with someone about servers, because it's something that interests me, and I think I would like to get a different perspective, and someone who actually can definitively say this is the deal and this is why these things get done. So thanks for watching on this one, guys. I'm sorry if it's been a slightly negative video, but at the end of the day, I'm not just going to make a happy chappy video for the sake of it. I've got to say what I think, and I've got to be objective, because that's how I like to do things. Right, I'm just tacking this in here because I actually forgot about it, and I'm just coming back to say this before this whole thing ends. Zombies. I played some zombies. It was good fun. Yeah, what do you want? It was good fun. It's a bit of a mini game, isn't it? It's a bit of a side thing on. Personally, I never really kind of... I'm so serious about games in general that I remember when zombies first appeared in World at War, and we just... the thing that made me laugh about it was at the end of World at War, when you finish a campaign, this little thing comes up, and COD campaigns, and this ties into Black Ops 2 campaigns. They're so bad. They're so bad. They're so bad you want to put pins in your eyes. The dialogue is the dialogue is just awful. It's like they've got every extremely cheesy war film that you've ever seen, like so cliched, and just put it all together in a big pot. Oh my god, it's just I can barely even finish them, and I have to say I didn't even finish this campaign, seriously. I got about, I don't know, halfway through, and I was just the exact same with Black Ops. Since Black Ops, I have not even been able to finish a Call of Duty campaign. Just impossible. They're so bad. You know, you're walking along and you're like, yeah, there's some guys here, shoot them. Oh, they're not really shooting at me or doing anything particularly. You get these kind of situations where the enemies are either not firing at you at all, or they're firing at you so hard and ignoring everyone else around you that like every round seems to be coming at you, and it's so orchestrated and it's so static and it's so, everything feels dead. It's just the worst experience. I hated it with a passion. Just appalling. But getting back to World at War, the World at War campaign, it gets to the end, right, and there's this little thing comes up and it's like, dedicated to all the soldiers or all the veterans from World War II, and you're like, seriously? You've made this quite bad, fairly sort of insensitively inappropriate game, and you're dedicating it to the soldiers of World War II? Is that like a slap in the face? It's just, and then after that it comes up and it's like, Nazi zombies, and it's like, my god, you're just like utterly it's so contradictory and inappropriate, and just no. So ever since then, zombies, I've not really been on board with it, to be honest. I played it a bit, and like I say, it's fun. You get a little team of guys and you see how well you can do with it and blah blah blah. And you know, I played a bit with my girlfriend and I played a bit with some friends and stuff, and yeah, you know, it's fun doing the zombies. But you know, take it or leave it. It could be a standalone, to be honest. I reckon they should just release it as a standalone DLC, and then people could just buy that and not the game itself. That'd be much better, I think. They should just make it as its own thing. I don't think it needs to keep being integrated into the game. They should just make it its own franchise, because people seem to love it. You either love it or you don't, so I don't see the need to kind of integrate it into the game. But as I say, the campaign, 2 out of 10, barely. You know, it gets to, I mean, I find it so disagreeable, I can barely bring myself to actually talk about it. Seriously. Oh god, it's just bad. It's bad. That's all I can say. It's just, seriously, I don't even know where to go with it. And you know me, I like to think that I'm able to kind of enunciate and discuss around a topic. I mean, you guys know from the rest of my videos, I'm generally quite good at talking around a topic and discussing it and making sort of issues about it. I have very little to say about the Black Ops campaign. It just sucks, seriously. They need to get some bloody script writers. They need to get some bloody good script writers, and they need to get some design into their level, not just run forward, there's a guy in the building, you shoot him, you take him out, you run down the road, there's some more people, you clear them out, you move forward, and everything seems to be like a variation on a theme with this game. Anyway. So yes, that's pretty much where we are with it. I found pretty much all aspects of this game to be fairly disagreeable. It's of course my personal opinion, but that's how I found it, and as I say, the connectivity issue only compounds it. It just literally makes it 100 times worse. So that's been this one. Black Ops is back in the shop, but I got Far Cry 3 and I'm going to be looking to check that out, make a few videos here and there, and hopefully slot that one in to replace a bit of the Black Ops 2 videos that I potentially would have made. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you for some more content very soon.